Two suspects pursued and suspected stolen Jeep in Hawthorne. Police began pursuing a black Jeep believed to be stolen. As the suspect drove through parts of Inglewood and Hawthorne on the evening of Friday, May 30th, the driver was driving recklessly on the opposite side of the road, narrowly avoiding traffic.
This LAPD pursuit, hot pursuit down the 110 freeway. The suspect in that gray Jeep zigzagging his way through southwest LA, eventually making his way onto the Harbor Freeway here. Excuse me? Say again? Copy. That tire's going to come off. I do. Well, you're looking at the southbound side of the 110 freeway here. Copy. Copy that. Sorry about that. Southbound side of the 110 freeway. He got off at Manchester very briefly and then got right back on the freeway. This was after weaving through southwest LA for a good 5, maybe even 10 minutes or so. At some points getting in the wrong way, going the wrong way against traffic on very busy surface streets. Now he's on the 110 freeway. LAPD with a full pursuit package here. 3 black and whites right behind him, attempting to hand this off to California Highway Patrol if it stays on the freeway. Right now they're transitioning through LAX's airspace here. We're coming up on the 105 freeway. Right now appears to be committed to the southbound 110 here. We'll see if that changes. There's a lot of ramps here as we make our way along the west side here. He's behind that ramp right there. You can see it looks like he might be transitioning, just very hard to tell. Is he coming this way? Westbound 105? Westbound 105, getting onto the 105 freeway, which is the less traveled freeway. If you look up and down the 105, very heavy traffic coming towards us on the eastbound side. He is now heading away from us on the westbound side of the 105 freeway, again, heading back through Linwood here. So we're going to continue to follow this pursuit. Unknown what the want is. We do not know how many people are inside the vehicle at this point. It was very difficult to see inside that vehicle, but he does appear to be pretty desperate to get away from those pursuing officers. So it was a little unclear. Yeah, you're right. It was a little unclear whether it was a tire that was running flat or if the actual axle was destabilized. I can't tell. It looks as he picks up speed, it seems to be wobbling a little bit less. What I can tell you is he has been in at least one, maybe even more minor collisions during the course of this pursuit. And I'm talking about real love taps, gentle bumper-to-bumper type stuff, but nothing major. There's no major damage obvious other than the stability of that front left wheel. So again, whether it's the tire that was misbehaving or now it appears that it's more likely the rim or the axle that was for some reason a little bit wobbly as he was traveling a little bit slower. And as you mentioned, as he picks up steam here, it looks to be a little bit more stable as we peer up on this pursuit from the rear. Coming up on the rear here, it looks like the vehicle is behaving okay, at least for the time being. Well, as long as he's on the 105 freeway, we're going to maintain the south side here, and we should be able to transition through Hawthorne with him here. We're coming up on Hawthorne Airport as he starts to pull over to the right. So if you're looking at it from our angle here, we're looking from south to north. He is traveling from east to west, and the Bravo airspace basically includes the area north of the 105 and west of the 110 freeway. That's where things get hairy, not only for us up here in Air 7, but also for that LAPD air support helicopter, which is why they have invited those ground units to re-engage the pursuit. For some time, they put it into tracking mode, and once he got close to LAX's airspace, they started the pursuit once again. It looks like he's making a southbound turn, exiting the 105 freeway, southbound on Crenshaw Boulevard, continuing this dangerous chase here through South LA with no intention of slowing down whatsoever. And again, the one thing we really are unclear about is how all of this started. What precipitated this pursuit is still very much a question mark, but there does appear to be clear intent on his part to get away and clear intent on LAPD's part to not let that happen. So now he's making a right turn. He's going to be heading westbound on 120th Street, away from Crenshaw Boulevard, heading back towards the west here, going through another red light here, not obeying stop signs, not obeying red lights. That has been the pattern throughout this pursuit. We don't know. Very much unclear at this point whether there's anybody else inside that vehicle. We do not know whether he is armed or whether LAPD has any of that intelligence or whether they are operating in the blind. Again, we don't know how all this started. He's now making a left turn off of 120th, southbound now on Prairie Avenue through Hawthorne. That's going to take him away from LAX's airspace, gives us an opportunity to catch up with him. It also gives that air support helicopter the opportunity to maintain a visual. And now I am hearing Giovanna and Philip that this is a stolen vehicle. So a stolen vehicle now in a parking lot here, heading in through a liquor store, trying to come out the other side on Broadway. This vehicle does not belong to him, and he is driving it like he stole it. You can tell. Ooh, cross traffic. Little close call here. I'm totally with you, Philip. Never seen anything like that. I mean, that wheel almost looked like it was about to come off, and now the vehicle is behaving almost completely normal. As we look at it from the driver's side here, we were paying attention to that front left wheel, now making another left turn here onto 133rd Street, coming towards us. We're going to get a better shot of the passenger side of the vehicle to see if there's any misbehavior by either of those wheels. But right now, that vehicle is traveling in a straight line directly towards us, and for the first time, we can peer through that driver's side window, that driver's windshield, and it does appear there is a passenger inside of the vehicle. So to answer Giovanna's question, we now know of at least two people inside of the stolen vehicle, and getting a little bit of a closer shot here through that tinted window on the driver's side as he picks up some speed here. And I can't tell, honestly, whether it is a man or a woman, quite frankly, but he is now, again, southbound on Prairie Avenue. Oh, you're so right about that. And every time we've seen any encounter with any kind of traffic jam, he's really shown little hesitation to weave around traffic, go the wrong way, and at some points even making contact with some of these innocent drivers on the road here. So now he's in a much more congested, more narrow area here on Corderi Avenue off of Prairie, and you can You can see, I'm sorry, let me just lower this radio really quick here. Southbound on Corderi Avenue, and still continuing down this more industrial area here. So we've been through residential neighborhoods, we've been through more commercial areas, we've been on the freeway, off the freeway, now coming out on a major at Rosecrans Avenue, now coming westbound on Rosecrans, slowing down a little bit. We'll go ahead and widen out to see how far back those LAPD units are. They are trying to catch up, but as you can tell, they have pulled back just a little bit, whether they were unable to squeeze through traffic there. Look at this, going the wrong way in between those cars here. Look at this. That was a wild move there, and there comes LAPD right behind him as he slows down here. Not sure why. He might be even coming to a stop here at Fonthill Avenue and Rosecrans. LAPD now out of their vehicle. Guns drawn, aimed squarely at the driver's side of that Jeep as he comes to a full stop here on Fonthill Avenue for no apparent reason. Not sure if the vehicle is giving up or if the suspect has just decided to surrender. It looks like it might be a female driver with a passenger now stepping out of the vehicle. You can see them with their hands up, and this has come to a random and sudden stop as they appear to be willing to end this finally after some dangerous driving and at times going the wrong way, including the very end there, swerving across the oncoming lanes of Rosecrans Avenue, now surrendering to these LAPD officers on Fonthill. A very sudden end here, and we don't know how much more that vehicle had left in it, but obviously it doesn't really matter at this point. Finally, fortunately, this has come to a peaceful resolution, it appears, as at least 2 people are getting out of that vehicle. They will eventually check the back seats and make sure that vehicle is empty.
The pursuit ended when the driver stopped the vehicle in the area of Fonthill and Rosecrans Streets in the Moneta Gardens area of Hawthorne. A female driver and a male passenger exited the vehicle and were taken into custody without incident.
It's just a prime example of how you just can never really understand what is going through somebody's head when they put on this kind of a display behind the wheel there. I mean, we saw so much unpredictability there, making very random turns, really speeding to try and get away from those pursuing officers with no intention of slowing down, and then randomly coming to a complete stop right here on Fonthill Avenue as they take these 2 into custody. That vehicle, you know, we understand that it's not their vehicle. It was a stolen car, but again, to remind you, we saw that front wheel almost ready to come off, and somehow she was able to recover, regain full control, and continue maneuvering the vehicle as if nothing was wrong whatsoever. But for whatever reason, she decided to pull over, and thankfully nobody has been hurt here.